Welcome back. I'm joined by Bryan Sowards of Infopia. It's a new company, and he's brought a variety of things to show us that I know nothing about, so I can't wait for you to start describing what this is and what is the benefit for people with diabetes.
Well, I appreciate it, Scott. It's actually Infopia. The name stands for Information Utopia, fused together. And speaking of names, we also have the Eocene system. Eocene stands for the dawn of a new era, and that really exemplifies our company and what we're trying to establish. We're a meter manufacturing company that wanted to take the approach of not focus on diabetes testing, but diabetes management. So we have a couple of different platforms to be able to accomplish our goals. The meter is a standard meter. It has technology that compares with most of the meters on the market today, but what separates us is the tracking device. This is our meter modem companion. It utilizes a basic phone line, so you don't have to have internet or computer software or anything, uploads or downloads. You cradle this device at the end of the day. It's an auto sync. It automatically downloads all your information. There's no buttons required. It dials up an 800 number, so it won't cost the household anything. That information goes into our server, and there it's archived and stored. So this way, healthcare professionals were able to share this information.
Let me ask you about this. So people have been testing all day long, and this is not like any of the other meters here. It kind of looks like the shape of a One Touch Ultra.
Correct.
Does it use the same strip? No.
No.
It's completely different.
Strip, yeah.
Okay. So someone like me would test all day long, and then I get home and I just plug it into my nightstand, and then it sends all my blood sugar readings to some central computer.
Correct.
So why would I want to do that, first of all?
Well, you want to share the information with your healthcare professionals. You want to let, for compliance reasons. We also have in our server, there's thresholds to where if any parameters are breached, then we're able to send an alert to the doctor or a healthcare manager or a family member.
Well, let me back up again. I've been testing for 20 years. I've never needed this yet. So you got to tell me what the problem is so I see why this is even a need for this.
Well, right now you take the results and you write them down in the logbook, and it stays there at your home, but you're not able to share that information.
My doctor asks me for it at the next appointment.
Yeah. Every 3 months or so you go to your doctor and you bring that, but then he's looking back at archived information that is not really timely. So What we're doing is sharing the information in a timely manner so you can do something with the test results.
But right now my doctor, he probably doesn't know about this or want that, so you kind of have to create that market too, right?
Correct.
You have to convince the doctors of the benefit and the patients.
Right.
So we'll both get on board with this.
Yeah. And that we've been, here at the show, it's been well received with the diabetic educators. I think everybody realizes the benefits on the surface. There's obviously information is king, and if you're able to get this information, look for trends and patterns, find these acute episodic episodes where, hyper or hypoglycemic episodes, if you get that information in a timely manner, that's what's important.
Mm-hmm. So you're also assuming that the patient doesn't know what to do with this information. If I have a high blood sugar, I go take insulin. I don't need to wait for my doctor to get it through the phone line and then call me up or something. It seems like a lot of added steps.
Somewhat, but it's actually you're downloading the information, you're archiving it, and it's not so much for the hypoglycemic episode, but it's to look for the trends and patterns and to see how well somebody's managing their diabetes.
Oh, I see.
Looking at something in an overall picture.
The doctor might see a 2-week, so he can see if he needs to make an adjustment in my insulin for some long-term effect?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then also with, suppliers, a lot of patients, they constantly get phone calls to find out when they need more supplies and everything else. It gets the patient more in touch with the healthcare professional, the diabetic supplier, puts everybody in the same team rather than the supplier just sending out strips every 3 months. The patient keeping all their information by themselves and then them seeing their doctors every 3 months.
This is the first time you've mentioned the supplier. How does the supplier get in the loop?
The supplier's one is obviously sending the test strips out to the patients.
No, but the supplier's getting my test results?
Yes, yeah.
And the doctor?
And the doctor, yeah. It's all web-based, so somebody with internet access, they're able to log in. It's HIPAA compliant. Obviously, whoever the patient desires or approves, will be able to authenticate and log in.
Well, what if I don't want the supplier seeing my test results because it's an invasion of privacy?
Right, then we won't. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're dealing with people with diabetes. A lot of people don't even want people to know they have diabetes. So it's you kind of, that could seem like you're treading on, some private information that's just.
And actually, at first, we were, somewhat hesitant, thinking that it might be the Big Brother type approach, or people might be a little, arm's length about it. But actually, the feedback we're getting is that patients want to be able to share their information. They feel sometimes that they're paying attention and they're trying to record everything, test the way that they should, but nobody really knows whether they are or not. When they go into the doctors, he just kind of thumbs through the book, but there's really no methodology in place to reward somebody or to let them know whether, if they're.
And this might be a little off topic. In the old days, we had a one-touch meter, and it would read the color with light. Mm-hmm. And there was a bright young girl that discovered if she took red fingernail polish, she could paint that little window, and it always came up 100. And she didn't have to test anymore every time. So obviously, you can't do that with these, but this would help watch over patients to see, I guess if they were having a whole series of 300 blood sugars, somebody might give them a call, say, hey, you might be in trouble.
Right, exactly.
So that would be a safety thing.
I mean, there's something there, because there's it's not for every patient, but for a lot of the patients that are out there that want to be able to share some information and just get their healthcare community or the healthcare team all in the same circle. We've also got a blood pressure cuff that communicates with our virtual tracker, because a lot of patients that have diabetes also have hypertension.
Oh, this is a blood pressure machine?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it plugs into what you have with the doctor. I see.
Right.
And how does it talk to this?
There's a serial port. There's a cable that connects these two.
Okay.
And that automatically downloads the information, sends it over to our server in the same format, and then we're able to showcase it and archive that. And again, if there's some type of alerts and somebody wants to be notified, it's mainly the managed care and case managers and people that understand that there's a triad of diseases and there's different disease states that affect one another, and that if they can manage the different disease states, obviously lower the complications.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Brian, what else you got to show us?
The cell phone. This is our latest technology. This was a peripheral to the virtual tracker. The virtual tracker is more of a for the community that doesn't want to do the uploads and downloads, might be a little standoffish when it comes to software and technology. This is a very simple device. There's no buttons. All you have to do is just cradle your meter and it automatically takes care of it. But if you don't mind working with technology, this one, when you put the test strip into the side of the phone, as soon as you hit the button, it goes to our server as well. And this is a more real time. So as soon as you take the result, it goes to our server, and then again, if there's an alert or something that somebody wants to be notified with, our server will send an alert over, and we can notify either, again, a healthcare member, family member.
Now our viewers might see that we interviewed Glucophone.
Glucophone, correct.
And it's the same. Are you partners with Glucophone?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay, so we had a great interview. She demonstrated that.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar. One, you just cradle it and does it all, and this one, isn't it automatic as well?
It's automatic as well. It just depends on if somebody uses a cell phone, or if they have a basic phone line.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So those are those three products. Mm-hmm. And what's next?
Once the information gets into our server, I'll show you some of the graphs that we look at. Everything's archived indefinitely, so you can go back and look for trends and patterns over the last year, over the last quarter. If you're feeling dizzy, or you call the doctor's office, your healthcare professional can get online and see what's been happening in the last few days to see if they can better understand the episodes. We've got linear graphs that again show over a period of time. We also have pie charts, which at a glance will show the compliance ratios for outcomes. First of all, is that the testing, the amount of times per day that's prescribed, and then out of those times that you test, what type of results fall within the target range. So you can better understand, in a snapshot, how compliant and how your results are falling within the doctor's prescribed range.
So I just have to jump on this word compliant. Most patients their goal is not to see themselves as compliant. Right. So is this for the doctor or for the patient?
For both. I mean, this is for the doctor to be able to log in and be able to get a snapshot, but it's also for the patient where they can get a collective, a collaboration of the results into one type of a pie chart where they can see a percentage of how many times when they test does it fall within the prescribed range that the doctor, says healthy for them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So the patient can go to your website and see this?
Correct. Yeah.
And the doctor goes there?
Right, exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
And how many different kinds of charts are there?
There's about 6 or 7 different charts. Mainly, they all have the same type of purpose. We can just massage and manipulate in different ways. You can have different parameters if you want to look in certain periods of time. You can go to specific dates. You can also, since our meter has activity meal recognition, if you want to isolate and only look at everything that was before meals or after meals or are in certain parts of the day. If you want to see all your results in the morning, you can do that as well. So it's really just a way for you to be able to massage the information that gets uploaded to the server to help you manage diabetes and understand maybe there's some trends and patterns that you're not aware of, but by looking at it in this type of a format, you can.
And that's website-based?
Website-based as well,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it like password protected?
Yeah.
So it's confidential?
It's all HIPAA compliant, and we're not wanting to share the information. The patient is the gatekeeper, so they authorize who has the availability of viewing what information.
All right. What other things are you hearing about this? When's it ready? When's it ready for market?
It's ready for market right now. We've actually got 3 or 4 different pilot programs going on. It's been well received. There are a lot of, and that's, as we said before, that a lot of times, we thought maybe the patients wouldn't really embrace it, but by having a vehicle of getting the information online and being able to view things, be able to share the information, has actually been well received. So.
All right, Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out to
Well,
talk to us
appreciate
about this innovative product.
Thank you.
And we wish you great success.